All right, welcome everyone. This week we are doing part 6 of our personal creed document, which means there's only one more part to go. Like always, the semester seems to go fast, but that's okay. So just to give you, and this will be a shorter meeting, I promise that in the email. I really hope most of you will watch the Celebrate What's Right video. I'll talk about it here in just a minute. But we'll talk about what we're looking for in this week's Creed document. This one's a little bit different than the other parts of your Creed document. It's has potential to maybe be a little bit longer. You have 3 parts to it. So just as a preview of what we're doing this week and next, and then the next week. And you'll be happy to know this is your last week, maybe happy. This was your last threaded discussion was this week. So no discussion board next week or the week after that. Next week has the potential to be a little, maybe your busiest week, because next week is the week that you wrap your personal creed document up. There's your final part, which is part 7, which is your mission statement. And then you package this thing up, 7 parts, you put a bow on it, and you submit your final product. And then you're done. Now, on the syllabus and on the calendar, there is a week 13, week 14. This is lesson 12. But there's a last week, but there's 2 things on the syllabus. One is a letter to a future student. And that literally can be a paragraph. I don't even remember exactly how much it tells you to do, but it's just a paragraph or 2 on what you would suggest people do with this class. And then there's supposed to be a last final meeting, but there's nothing to meet on. So I'm just going to give everybody credit for the meeting, and then you'll be done. And then I get to review 140 final personal creed documents over the last week and a half of the class. Which is actually one of my favorite things to do. So maybe this would be a good time to ask, are there any questions before we talk about this week? Any questions anybody has about the last 3 weeks? So Erica's asking, are we still meeting? We'll meet, this is the second to last meeting. We'll try to meet on Monday of next week because I want to make sure you have time. I'm going to show you kind of the last parts of the Creed document, kind of an outline. So, and then Lauren's asking, does it matter what we make it on? It does not. As long as you have the 7 parts in your personal Creed document, I'm not going to worry about, is it a PowerPoint? Is it a PDF? Is it a Prezi? Is it a Word document? That is really up to you. What I'm looking for when I grade your final is, do you have the 7 parts, and have you put some effort into it? And then Evelyn's asking, do you have to have pictures? You do not either. That's up to you. So this is your Creed document, right? So whatever you do to it is up to you. I'm looking for 2 things: all 7 parts, and does it look like you've put some effort into it? That's it. Erica's asking, is there a place where we can get all the information about what needs to be on the Creed? Yes, I will cover that on Monday next week. So we'll do a review, and that's part of the last of next week's class. Okay, so Lauren's asking, yes, and you can put on whatever you want. If you want to put it on paper and take pictures of it and send it in that way, that's perfectly fine too. So for me, again, I don't want to lean any one way, but the advantage, if you want to add quotes and pictures and move things around, PowerPoint's probably the easiest to just drop stuff in, move it around. So that's fine. All right, so this week, the lesson is all about the law of gratitude and the art of living with love. And to me, this is one of my favorite lessons It's maybe my favorite personal creed document to read because it's really interesting to see who are the people who've made a difference in all of your lives and what are the events that have shaped your lives. And then there's the little section on the importance of forgiveness. And so this is the first TED Talk that I encouraged you to watch, but it is about gratitude. Shawn Achor says in that TED Talk, there's value in just being grateful for a couple of things, 3 things every single day. The talk that I'm inviting you to watch this week, and it's actually, if I'm true to word and I keep this meeting shorter, you can watch it in the amount of time that you would typically be in this meeting, is DeWitt Jones' talk on Celebrate What's Right with the World. Now, DeWitt has I used to have people watch an older video. It's about 30 minutes long, made in like the 80s. And now he's done a TED Talk, which is, he's put it all in like 12 minutes. And it's just super powerful. And Cindy, I agree, it is a great video. And if you didn't do anything but like just kind of do what he suggests, we would all be happier. And that is the choice. We have a choice every single day to celebrate what's right or look for what's wrong. It's learned optimism or it's the bad habit of being a pessimist. And so I want to share this with you. This is something that I included in the book that I wrote because I think this is kind of like what DeWitt Jones teaches, and that is just having a practice of taking in the good. And there's something called neuroplasticity where we kind of wire our brains a certain way. This is kind of psycho-cybernetics, another version of it. But what he teaches us, Rick Hanson teaches us, is that the neurons that fire together wire together. And if we are in a negative state or we're perpetually negative, we'll kind of have our brain wired to negativity. And he says the challenge is we're like Velcro to bad and Teflon to good. Like something bad happens, we kind of latch onto it, we worry about it, we fuss over it, and it messes us up. And then sometimes we deflect good. It's like, that was nice, but it's not going to happen again, or wish it would happen more often. So he teaches us a little program called HEAL. And that is during the day, or multiple times, a few times, maybe once or twice a day, just on purpose, enjoy something, whether it's the smell of outside or the breeze or the sunshine or the smile or your apple crisp. Just like enjoy it, embrace it, absorb it, take it in and enjoy the positivity of it. And the last one is linked in positive and negative. So here's an example that I've used. I had a season in my life when I was dealing with anxiety after my brother died, where I wasn't sleeping very well. And so my bed was not a positive place. It was, I'd get nervous, I'd get sweaty. I was mad that I wasn't falling asleep. I was mad that I had to take stuff to help me fall asleep. And it was just negative. So I started practicing this. I said, okay, my bed's not a happy place, but what is positive about my bed? Well, I really like my pillow. So I just sit there and I'd say, I'm going to embrace my pillow. I'm going to love my pillow. I'm going to love the smell of my pillow. My wife keeps it nice. And and when you link the positive and negative, usually the positive wins. So have a positive experience, embrace it, absorb it, link the positive with the negative. All right. I'm going to show you now, one more book, Man's Search for Meaning. That's finding a purpose in your life and focusing on the positive outcome. It helped him survive. If you haven't read this book, this is like, if you needed a must-read non-LDS book that you add to your library, this is the one. Anyway, powerful. So here's the 3 parts of this week's personal creed document. And I'm just going to show you a couple of examples. People who've made a difference. Just list a few of them. And this example is mom and dad and third companion and mission president and Melissa and their brother Morris. And just in 2 or 3 sentences, why was that person an impactful person for you? The second one is to identify events in your life that have, we call these switch points. And it doesn't have to be a full-on switch point, right? So an example in my life would be when I was between Ricks College and Utah State University. I went and talked to my Uncle Wells, who lived in Washington, and he, in a few minutes, gave me some steps to take to get to the career I wanted. Now, it might have happened without him, but he made it easy for me, and I did what he asked, and it actually worked. So I look back and say, maybe my first job working at this college happened largely because of the advice he gave me. Adopting our son Isaac was a switch point. So here's an example that this person is listed: reading the Book of Mormon, the Green Light Prayer, saying no to porn, hearing my mother cry. Let's see if there's another one. There's just 4 there. So no set number, but what are the events that have made a difference in where you're at today? And then just a little something about the importance of forgiving, letting go, not holding grudges. Example 2, people, and again, just a different take on it. This person is Jackie Chan. Probably doesn't even know Jackie Chan, but and it's listed in Sister Hogan, Sister Gilchrist, Sister Hardy, also Sister Bean, another Sister Bean, Random Young Winds presidents, Adam, Brother Clark, Brother Tennis. Some switch points listed, I think 3 on this example, and dealing with negativity, a plan. Now, if you want to take this to a different, maybe higher level, what you do is not only do you list these things, especially the people, and this is kind of part of your case study this week, maybe even send someone a thank you note or give them a call and express how grateful you are for them and why. Living with gratitude is a better way to live. That's the lesson for this week. Okay. One more example. This was one per page. Pregnancy. And anyway, you can see there's just different ways to do it. Okay, any questions that any of you might have this week? Go ahead and type in the chat or hop on your microphone and let me know. Scanning through all of you great folks. All right. Well, I promise a short meeting. This will be a little shorter. I will stay on if any of you want to talk. But for now, let's stop the recording. And we'll see you next week for our last meeting.